SEO Sundays, email marketing, SEO, AI research. Well, you know what? I might have to do something really quickly because I think it would be good for us to talk about this without saying SEO twice. But it's good to say it twice because I've already said it. And when you look at SEO Sundays, email marketing, and AI research, I'm coming from a point of research. And happy Sunday, everybody. It is great. I'm excited. I'm blessed. I'm just thrilled to be doing this with you because every day has been amazing this month of August. It's always been amazing. And this month particularly is because, the podcast We Don't Play is turning 5. And it's not a joke to have a consistent podcast show going for so long and doing it in a way that is very expansive, whereby you get to connect with a lot of people, right? You get to see a lot of people, you get to know what they're doing, you get to see how things are working. So it's like creating a whole experience for yourself. So I figured, why not, do something every day to just thank you for taking the time to be here and be part of this amazing journey because I'll be, talking about things that will help you with your marketing, with your processing, and it's an SEO Sunday. So we'll see how long this goes depending on how many people come in or how much I can cover. But one of the things I've come to see is that, when you look at the goals and the objectives and the plans and the things that you want to do, it revolves around communication. And why it revolves around communication is because you'd have to connect with people consistently. And these connections don't just happen overnight, right? They happen over time. So when you have connections with people over time, you're technically creating experiences that will turn into business opportunities, into friendships, into referrals, into things of that nature, right? That will give you that long term goal that you're looking for. Because one of the things I've come to see is, when you have a business, when you have a plan, when you have a goal, there are a lot of things you have to look into. And one of those things are looking into how you communicate with your community, right? Your community matters. It matters so much because when you have a community, you have a goal, right? And you have a goal, you have data. And speaking of data, I'm going to be briefly touching on this information. I talked about it before when it comes to first party data, and I said I'll bring it back again, but I'll bring it back in a different way so that you can also use this to learn about this topic, because I don't think a lot of people know that there's zero party data, there's first party data, there's second party data, and there's third party data. And why this is so important for you to get, even though I know I've talked about it with first party data, I just wanted you to understand it first because you may not understand everything within one episode. So I said, I'm going to do a second one, but this second one will have more context so that you can understand the full picture of everything referring to this information, right? So this article you see at the top, if you click above my head, you will see this article. I wrote this article and did research on it, and you'll find some really cool nuggets in there. And the reason why I even did this article is because I got to see there's a need for information like this on the web, because people who are in business, who are looking for marketing support, marketing services, are also trying to learn how marketing works. So it's not just about showing people how to do business or getting businesses to work with them. It's also educating them on what they need to know about their information, because I cannot control everybody's business, neither can you control everyone's business. So when you control your business because you've learned about a business model or a business structure, then those structures will also impact the way you show up in your business on your account, right? So you're creating connections with people because they want to see you grow and you want to see them grow, right? And how you're both growing together is when I leave my contact information with you or you purchase something from me. And with those two things going on, I'm able to give you information, you're able to give me currency. Now, that exchange is where the value is, times the number of people you're impacting psychologically. You're also affecting them in a positive way that's impactful to their pockets. And also it's impactful to their process, right? Because when you're paying for something, you're paying for something because you know you're going to use this thing for something specific. You're not just going to pay for something expensive because you just feel like it. You're going to pay for something because you know the value of it. So in this case, when you're looking at this information, and I'm going to share this room as well. If you're in here, please share the room with other people too. This would be good because I would love for you to also learn, a few things, because it's not just one thing, that I'm talking about. I'm also thinking about how you can also process this for yourself, for your goals, your strategies, your ideas, your plans. All these things are going to fall into that. So there's a AI research section of this room that I want to talk about as well. Now, with AI research and what's going on in the AI artificial intelligence world, right? Welcome, Anthony, David, L, Eric, Thomas, Daryl, and Kay. Just wanted to acknowledge you all. Thank you for being here. The major thing that I've noticed about artificial intelligence is that you would need to start thinking about how AI is helping you process work faster and more accurately to perform at a high level with consistent efficiency. The reason why is because when you start to build your brand, you're going to start doing a lot of listening. If you flip listen and silent on a Scrabble word, it's the same number of words. It's just rearranged, silent and listen. So when you're listening, you're silent. And when you're silent, you're pretty much listening, but you're processing. And you're also planning. Because as you're thinking, as you're hearing, as you're listening, as you're speaking, as you're responding, what you're saying back and how you're saying them back is based on what you know, based on how you know, or where you know it from. And if you don't know it that well, you may not be able to have a high level conversation because you may not even know what to say back, right? But these are the times that if you're able to use AI to slow down time for you so that you can enjoy it, and then speed up the process by letting delegations and AI handle it for you, then that's going to be a good thing. Because when we start thinking about crunching numbers, crunching all these things, it's crazy. But think about it. Imagine if you did something with AI, it worked, and it's ranking, and people are benefiting from it. That says a lot about you and about your business, right? So you have to think about your goals, your planning, your structure, your business, and then use that to now gain access. Let people learn more about you. Let people learn about what you're doing. And that way it can also translate into your goals for the future. So when you think about AI research, use platforms to understand your goals. For example, I'll just give you a very simple SEO Sunday tip. Maybe this is the only one tip I'll give. for today's room. If you're using SEMrush, right, which is it's a free tool too, but it's more of a paid tool, but you can use it for free if you use your keywords wisely. There's a section when you go into the keyword overview, right, and you're trying to get keywords for research. I would advise that if you want to incorporate AI research for email marketing using SEO software like SEMrush, what you should start to think about doing, right, is to put your URL, put your domain name in that SEMrush section that says AI, because there's a section on SEMrush that allows you to put your domain name, and then AI is going to scan your domain, meaning it's going to scan your website, meaning it's going to scan the pages on your website. And if you have a lot of good pages on your website, you have more data. If you don't have a lot of pages, you may not get as much. So it's always good to make sure you have enough data that it can be processed comprehensively. Then when that happens, you get a potential score. With that potential score allows you to now gain more traction over time. Then using that time allows you to now really understand whether this is what you want to use or not. And that tells you this is where people are looking for your information. This is where they want to connect with you. And this is also where they want to learn more from you. So it's not just a matter of click away, click away. You have to really know, okay, this is what I'm looking for. This is how I'm going to process it. And if I can process it using AI, and AI is determining the keywords that I can use based on the domain that I have, then I can compete at a high level, because instead of me scraping through these thousands of keywords, I have these hundreds of keywords I can use. So those are things that you have to think about as a business, which will help you. So I wanted to just do a quick room today. I know a lot of people, it's a Sunday, and I was like, SEO Sundays, let's rock it out. So if you have any questions, Thomas, Daryl, Armono, let me know, put in the chat. If not, then we can wrap this up. But I wanted to give you some insights today so you can use this, learn about it, see how you can grow, and eventually take your business to the next level. Welcome, Maxine. When you think about your business long term, it will make a lot of sense for your email marketing. Email marketing is a beautiful thing. It's a very beautiful thing, especially when you have AI involved, because when you have connections with people, when you start sending out emails, when people start when people start thinking about your name, and they start hearing your business, they start hearing your content, they start connecting with you, you start realizing that you actually do have a community. You actually have subscribers. Like, you actually can tell who likes what, where, how, and what do they like to do. Like, for example, because I have this thing called magic links, when I use Flowdesk, right? And when you click this link above, this is an article. When you get to, I think it's first party data, that section, you'll see a section that says Flowdesk. When you click on that link, it will take you to where you can get my affiliate link and pay $19 a month for the whole year and get unlimited emails, unlimited subscribers for your business, and save money, because a lot of companies spend about at least 30, $40 minimum, to maybe even 80, $120 on on emails. Like, it's scary. If I'm spending less than $300 a year to reach unlimited subscribers, and I'm getting over 50%, 40% open rate, and you're paying $60 to get 20%, 30% open rate. I mean, it could be higher, but when you think about the differences, there's so much that you can connect with. So, Maxine, I would love to connect with you too. Please come up. I'm about to follow you back. Followed you now. You know, I said SEO Sun. Hey, how are you?
Oh, I'm so good. This is a conversation I'm very interested in.
Oh yeah, tell me about your business. What do you do? Just give me a little background.
Sure, let me just charge my phone before it dies here. My background, I have a technology company, well, I would say digital marketing and technology company. And so I'm very much into, there's a new way of, we have to move differently on the internet when we're setting up our digital presence. When it comes to SEO, when it comes to user experience, or and the importance of really trying to scale and be as efficient as your competition is super important. So when I see AI, automation, all of that, I'm really carrying the banner for small businesses to not just try and survive this time in AI, this time of AI, but to thrive during this time. It is possible, even with limited funds, as a business. So,
That is so true, especially right now with AI. People think it's expensive, but right now I think it's the most affordable it's gonna ever be because it's gonna get more complicated and it's gonna get more sophisticated. So if you're not tapping in now and using it, it's not going to be good later on. So I actually had a workshop last month, towards the end of last month, and I'm planning to do another one, more detailed. Welcome, Drea and Daria, on AI, SEO, and just building your platform with AI. Like literally, you don't even have to write a blog again. It's that deep because if you've been writing, if let's think about it, right? If you've been in business for more than at least 3 years, then you have some type of leverage, some type of experience, some type of content that's going to give you some type of, you know, value. Welcome, how do you say Laron? Laron, I hope I say it correctly. And it's Hayes. How do you
Yeah,
say
you
your
said it
name?
right. You said it right. LaRon.
LaRon. Okay, bet.
Good
Thanks for
morning.
being
Good
here,
morning.
man.
For sure, brother.
Welcome, welcome. Yeah, so when you think about your business and what you're using it for, you have to look at the perspective beyond what you're seeing. Because when I did this workshop, I showed it's a 90-minute workshop. It was a $47 workshop, and the replay is going to be available. I already sent the replays to them with the tools. I used seven tools in 90 minutes to save you 90 days of research, quarter over quarter, using AI and SEO, email marketing, the whole nine. And I'm bringing that back here to Clubhouse. Welcome, David. David is also part of our Podcast Growth Academy, an amazing podcast academy where we help businesses, really, really show up online, for their business in a branded way. And, David has been doing this for a while now, like 2 decades now, David. So it's been amazing. How are you, man? Good to have you here.
I'm doing great. Thank you for creating this room on a Sunday. Favor. It's always great to listen to you about SEO, and yes, I've been doing photography for a long time and SEO, and I'm loving it. Thanks again.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's interesting how we think about like these big brands, products that are incorporating AI, and we small businesses or it's just us entrepreneurs or people who are in business that have professional etiquette should start thinking about AI too. Like for you, I know with David, I use Adobe as well. I know Adobe, they have their own AI, components, right? So when you think about companies like Facebook, when you think about Tesla, you think about Amazon, you think about all these platforms, even Amazon now, when you open the Amazon app, there's an AI section, there's an AI tab, right? When you're searching for things at a supermarket, there's an AI tab. All these things are happening, and we're just like, okay, AI, 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 not knowing or not realizing that life, like we're changing, things are happening right before our eyes. AI is getting more and more intelligent. It's getting more and more detailed, right? It's actually getting to the point where it can read you. So this is where things have to start thinking about. You have to think about like your copyrights, your trademarks, your licenses, your businesses, your registrations, your patents, your intellectual property, like everything, starting from the basic. right? This article that you see above my head, above us, is an article. It's going to take you about 8 minutes to read, but it's so comprehensive because I realized, because I was doing research, I was like, okay, companies, businesses. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Google, I'm everywhere, right? And I'm like, businesses want to learn how to protect their intellectual property. And most, I've been telling businesses, it's like just saying it over and over again. Use podcasts. This month is my 5th year podcasting, and we're ranked top 3% globally. We have over 390 episodes out there, and there are 150 episodes yet to be released. We're aiming for top 1% at the end of this year. And it's something that has been going on consistently, right? Everybody this year is starting a podcast. So in my head, I'm like, I've been here just chilling, working, doing my thing in the background, making things happen, being on Clubhouse, connecting with people, helping other people, their businesses do their SEO, get them on Pinterest, build their websites, just get them set up. And now everybody wants to start a podcast. So I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me come out and let people know what I have so that you can also know what is available. Because the last thing you want to do is spend time, energy, and effort on something that is not going to yield results or give you any type of satisfaction within at least a 3 to 6 month period. And what do I mean by that is if you're not receiving clicks, referrals, DMs, calls, inquiries, emails, again, any type of marketing, if it's quiet, if it's crickets, like if for 3 months this is happening, there will need to be a change. And that's why I'm doing SEO Sundays, because I was about to close this room, but I was like, no, people need to listen to this because there are 4 types of data, right? 4 types. And you can read this article, please. As soon as you click this link, if you want to learn about marketing tips, SEO services, click the link and put your contact details, and you'll get emails from me, my team, and we'll be able to give you some really cool insights. You won't miss out on anything.
Hey,
Zero. Yes, Leron.
would you mind if I expounded on SEOs just a
Yeah, go
little bit?
ahead.
Man, you know what? I think that a lot of people, I mean, from a Wix platform, um, I mean, even old Squarespace platforms, and these are website development platforms. And I think you just said another one in regards to a platform that you use, but these platforms have the options to write blogs, publications. This is a cheat code for your SEO like no other. Like when you're constantly doing these podcasts, it's producing content and people can get creative on how they gather that content because you don't always have to have somebody in the same room, but you can always write an article from anywhere. And I've just grown to learn to see over the years the SEO on my website is so high. And I'm like, wow. And I was really looking into why that was the case. It's because of these publications that date back to 2015. So I'm like, oh, snap. Okay. So that's been something that I've always just kind of looked at as a cheat code. I just wanted to just drop that in a little bit.
I love that, Laurent. I appreciate that feedback. It's so good that you said that too, because I like to simplify SEO for people who think it's Greek or it's algebra, it's some type of mythology. It's very simple. you know, it's very simple. And I can even break it down. You see, like what you said, Laurent, about 2015. I usually give analogies, and David has heard me give analogies. So I like to like simplify it. So when you hear it, you're like, oh, that's what it is. Okay, bet. This is an analogy I want to give you. Think about your credit, right? If you got credit, let's say you've been having credit since 2000 and you've been building your credit, somebody else has been building their credit since 2010. And then somebody else has been building their credit since 2020, right? The person who has been building their credit since 2000 has way more leverage, equity, track record than the one that had in 2020, right? Not that the one in 2020 has anything over or under the one over 2000. It's just that there is a 20-year gap, right? So that's why when you even add, let's say, credits to your child's history, you're expanding that, you're giving them more options because they have that credit history. Same thing applies to SEO. When you connect your website, your domain, your URL, which is your uniform resource locator, and you connect that domain property, it's called a property. We call it website, but Google calls it property because it's your intellectual property. It's your business, it's your assets, it's where your logo is, it's where your about section is, it's where your links are, it's where you make payments from, it's where you take payments from. All these things are all put in there. You have articles, you have FAQs, glossaries, privacy policies, you have extensions, you have certificates, all those things. That's your intellectual property. We build websites. So I'm just giving you like a big scope of what happens when you build a website when it comes to pages. All those
It's a fact.
pages,
It's a
right?
fact. It's a
Exactly.
fact. Fact.
I key because all those pages become connected. It's like a spider
A
web.
whole bunch of data.
Data, 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 right? Because data equals dollars,
Heck
right?
yeah. Heck
You
yeah.
know, A- and they say it's the new oil. If you guys are not
Mm.
sure about that, because it's lucrative, it's
Damn,
currency,
that's hard. I'm
it's
sorry, I can't skip over that one. That's a t-shirt. Data is the new oil. That's hard. My bad, brother. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just had to applaud that one.
no, for real. I'm glad you're getting it, and I hope others are getting it too, because we're living in a time now that we're in a search everywhere optimization world. It's no like when you hear SEO, don't think of Google only. Because I remember there's a time someone was saying, what did they say? Lauren, I've just followed you back. Like I think they said, this was when ChatGPT came out. Because I remember I'm really early when things come out early. I'm a beta tester, like really early, or even alpha tester if you want to go there. And I remember this was like, was it 2020, 2021? I started using AI. And then around 2022 November, or was it 2021 November? I think it was 2022. I remember I started using the Chat GPT. I think it was 2.5 and then 3. And then people started saying on Clubhouse, SEO is going away. SEO is not going to be here. SEO is, you know what I'm saying? I was like, you guys gotta be kidding me.
I don't want
Because,
to say the wrong time frame of when that was, but I definitely
uh-huh,
remember that, and that's crazy for people to think that.
it's ridiculous. Because I'm like, that, okay, it's like saying, oh, I'm not gonna brush my teeth again, or I'm not
But you know
gonna
what? That's kind
shower
of that's
again.
almost a good thing in people, and people like you and I. That's almost a good thing for us if that's how they feel, because that just leaves so much more opportunity open for you to continue to be creative, and then the consistency and the data has to be built. So it doesn't matter if they don't see it right then and there. The fact that you did it, the fact that you produced it, and you have it stored in a certain area that is titled a brand and it's there, especially when that brand is a domain and is on the internet. Man, I'm sorry. I just can get into this. My apologies. I don't mean to keep cutting you off. I don't mean to disrespect the stage.
No, no, you're speaking facts, and I'm glad that you're echoing it too, because you're also giving a perspective other people can take in. It's not just me. I don't want to be the only one talking, because I even want to come to you, David and Maxine, too, to hear from you. Just what your thoughts are, because we think SEO is dead or SEO is going somewhere. It's been there. It's always it's actually SEO has been there from the beginning of time. Like when you're searching for mangoes on the tree, you're gonna say, okay, this is a mango tree. This is an apple tree. This tree produces apples. This tree produces mangoes. That's search. That's keyword research. That's interest. That's desire. That's finding stuff. So don't think SEO is this whole big old thing, because it's there. Like when you search your cabinet, when you search your closet, when you're searching your wallet, when you're searching your purse, you're searching for something. I'm sure we've searched for something today in your car. You've searched for something. You've searched for something. You've gone to church. You've come back. You've searched for something, right? When you take away SEO and take away this whole big veil of SEO and just focus on experiences and information, you'll go so far. experiences and information. And let me actually say this again with something else: experiences and updated information. Because when you're updating information regularly, the algorithm understands that you are current. There are over 1.9 billion, over 1.9 billion websites in the world. But why are only 82% of them not being updated within the last 6 months? Because most businesses would hire someone to pay. We build websites, so we've seen this. My business has been going for a decade now plus, so I've seen this over and over. We want a website. We build you a website. Then there are two options. It's either you keep us as a retainer and we build your SEO, we help you because SEO is not a one-time fixed thing, or we train you on how it works and you can go. Because sometimes some people just want to pick it up and go. I'm like, cool. A year comes back later, hey, this happened, or something happened, and they're gone. But the whole idea is each one teach one. Because what benefit is it to me if I'm just learning everything and I'm knowing everything myself and you're not learning it? That's not the point. Life is supposed to be giving. You're supposed to give. Like, I want you to know more than me. I want to be this. I don't want to be the smartest person in the room, right? Because I'm giving you so much information to research on. That's why I have a podcast above, and you can listen to anything you want there, because you can hear those things I'm saying, and you hear what other people are saying, you hear what our guests are saying, and you are able to understand what you can do. Because marketing is not hard. SEO is not hard. Why it's so easy for me is not because I just love SEO. I do. Some people don't even want to hear that word SEO when they hear it. But if you just think about 10 years from now, if you said something once and it's been repeated over and over again, like a book is being read over and over again, or a tape is being played over and over again, or your favorite music from back in the 60s is being played over and over again, that is where intellectual property and legacy lies. Because you're creating communication systems with people over the internet that have never had a chance to connect with you and now want to connect with you at a deeper level, which is where communication comes in. And how do you communicate? The two major ways to communicate, two major ways, we all know them, is through voice and through text. Right? You can modify voice, do audio, video, you can do text, you can do blogs, you can do graphics, however you want to do it. But it boils down to those two, right? And then the marketing value boils down to these next two: attention and retention. If you can build those two around with experience and information, you will always go far and you will always communicate effectively, because people want to hear from you. When people say, oh, I don't want to email people because I think they're going to be bothered, think about Fashion Over, think about Walmart, think about, um, who are they? There's so many. Like, just go on your email right now and see the number of emails that you've not opened. There are more emails that you've not opened than emails you've opened. To tell you what, there should be no excuse for you to actually thrive if you really want to connect with people. So I want to start off with ladies first. Maxine, wanted to come to you and just hear from you. What are your thoughts, questions, suggestions? The floor is yours.
I just love the way you simplify. First of all, you could tell that you're a trainer. You simplify concepts into 2 words, and I'm thinking, wow, that's really good. But I feel like SEO, all the people who are talking about SEO's dead, SEO's dead. That's just, I feel like it was just a gimmick just to get people to watch their video, right? Because the reality is SEO is not dead. It's just simple. I feel like it's more simplified now. It's become more straightforward and accessible for businesses of all sizes, and it's because of the fact that it's really user centric now, right? There's a, it's, you were talking about quality content right now is the foundation of SEO. Like you were saying, search engines, they're prioritizing these pages. They want to see that it's valuable, that it's relevant, that it's engaging content, and that you're continuing to engage and, like you said, retain people, focusing on creating informative and and original content is very important, especially when people, of course, everyone's doing AI now. And, but also the second thing I think that's super important is the fact that user experience is at the forefront of SEO now. So as a business owner, for people who, like you're saying, they're fully confused or overwhelmed at the thought of SEO, right? Like it's totally over their head. But the reality is that when you have a positive user experience, that is what's critical to SEO now in 2024 and going into 2025 into the future. Search engine, search engines really favor websites that load quickly, right? That have all, have easy navigation and are mobile friendly. And of course, we talk about people who used to stuff keywords and all that. There's a lot of tactics that used to happen in the past that are not going to be beneficial today, right? And another thing I feel like is important is something that I'm holding the banner for, is the fact that we don't really see too much of a correlation a lot of times with SEO, the intersectionality of SEO user experience as well as being green, right? And I know that's something that's kind of odd to talk about is, you know, I'm a person who cares about my children, my children's children, in the world that we have to live in this time. And businesses are typically like, what's the bottom line? How am I going to make money from this? What's in it for me? And you know, being able to be seen on the first page, having a fast loading website, having good navigation is great for user experience. It's going to help your business, convert and all that. But it also is great for the environment, right? Because now there's less bogged down as well on the whole process of having a website. Um, but that's something I want to just kind of say. But I feel like the five most important things is quality content, user experience, keywords, and search intent, right? Because that's what matters now is the intent, not so much stuffing a bunch of keywords. Backlinks and authority, because backlinks is literally like a vote on the credibility of your site when you have backlinks that link back to your site. It's a powerful thing for SEO. Technical SEO is very important. And I feel like that's the thing, ensuring that your website is secure, right? That it doesn't have a hazard sign, that it has an HTTPS, and it's clean, it's crawlable, and has structured data as well. And also local SEO is super important. So making sure you watch your reputation management, have an on-ground strategy for people to go ahead. If you like my service, please go ahead and maybe you have a QR code at the front desk, at the point of contact, someone who can go ahead and encourage people to constantly go ahead and give reviews. Right? Don't wait for people to give reviews and hope that the happy customers do, because the reality is that people who are unhappy are the ones who typically take the time to do that. So take charge of your reputation, be active in it, on ground and also virtually, and also AI and automation. I think that's super important. Incorporating like what you're talking about, AI tools and automating and having that simplified process is very important. And then of course hiring somebody who can really find a way to target your target audience that is an SEO expert. Because I mean, it's great to try and DIY everything, but we have to understand that when we DIY as an entrepreneur, there's an opportunity cost in doing what you're best at instead of doing what you're not good at. And so with that, I'm going to just pass that back to you.
I
Hey,
love that. Go ahead,
Fabio,
man.
am I saying your name correctly? Can you pronounce it
Favor.
for me? Favor. Okay, so Favor, look, I'm gonna go ahead and watch this TV show with my wife here, but I wanted to say, man, I'm gonna go ahead and follow you on Instagram. I'm gonna try to connect with you. Maxine, what you were saying, that was amazing in regards of SEO. David, I noticed that you're a photographer. All you guys are amazing, and I want to try to keep in touch with you guys. I definitely will leave with I SEO has changed my life, you guys. Like seriously, I was just being creative and I created a brand based off of my beliefs and what my dad taught me and how to treat people, and it's called Even Rights. And I just continue to just move forward with how I was collecting data, whether it be a publication, whether it be an interview, whether it be an event. And I stuck true to my beliefs and just kept storing it away and kept storing it away. And I swear to God, like to this day, I'm so thankful that I can utilize it to still be creative, but it's easy to, it looks like it's so grand every time I'm being creative with it at this point in time because I've done it so much. I've created that data and I stored it away somewhere. So, man, SEO has definitely helped me. I love this conversation. I will definitely be coming back, and I'm going to go ahead and follow you guys. And I wanted to say, everyone, have a good rest of the evening, okay?
Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you for joining us today.
Thank you,
First,
man. Thank you so much.
yeah,
You guys are amazing.
anytime, man. We'll always be here. We usually have rooms here during the week, and I'm here early morning, like let's say 12 hours from now. I usually have rooms like early. So yeah, today I said let me do an SEO evening room. So I'm mostly here in the morning. So and it's central time.
Okay, no, that's fire because you guys are like a breath of fresh air. So I'm definitely be back, and I'll be back to learn more from you guys, and we'll just keep tapping in, okay?
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, man.
You
Appreciate
guys
you.
have a good evening. Bye bye.
You too. Bye. Yeah, guys, this is what you call, connections with, you never know. You just never know what you could find online. It's like a world, they call it the world wide web. Like we don't think about that www. We always just say, yeah, www dot. We don't think about what that really means when you think about what's really happening. There are more searches in the world per day than there are the number of people in the world daily. Let me say that with some more context. There are 8.5 billion searches a day on Google at the very least per day. And we're just above 8 billion people in the world in 2024. So to tell you if 8.5 billion searches times 365 is searching for something and you are the result and they find you as a person to go to, do you know how valuable you are to them? You know how valuable your information is to them, that they actually count on your word, your expertise. They count on your feedback to actually make a decision on whether to do this, do that, because you are part of that information. You're part of that cycle. You're part of that community. That's a big responsibility, right? So your responsibility as a business is to understand and factor in what are the things that we want to do, right? How do we want to create systems that operate long term? And I think this week I'm going to do some rooms. I'll schedule them. One of them is going to be on Web3. I've talked about it like very light, but I want to go a little deeper into Web3 because somebody needs serious relationship help. Okay. I'm not the lover boy doctor, but let's see. I'm gonna bring you up. You got one chance. So what's up, lover boy? Talk to us. What do you need? This is an SEO Sunday. Welcome. Are you there? If you're speaking, tap on the bottom right to unmute. Lover boy going once, going twice. All right. Yeah, maybe it was a glitch. But yeah, put it in the chat. We'd love to hear from you because I don't want to interrupt anything, and just let me know if you have a question, put it in the chat and we can talk about it. Because I don't want to waste anyone's time because you guys, your time is so precious. This is the time to grow, guys. 8.5 billion, like that's a number you have to think about. And out of that 8.5 billion searches a day, 15% of those searches are new. 15% of new searches per day are new. So if you do 15% of 8.5 billion, now take that 15% and then do like a 1% of that 15% based on your industry or based on your search, right? Because you can, of course, accumulate the whole 15%, right? But at least take 1% and just use that as a measuring stick, as a yardstick. And then analyze and say, okay, if I'm getting X number of searches per day, this is exactly what I'm looking for, right? And this is where I'm going. Because we wonder, we're looking for all these things, we're looking for all these things, but it's hard to find them. You know how wide the web is? For someone to say they're spending $5 a day in a city on Facebook ads is ridiculous. I mean, in 2024, in 2020 it was gold. In 2012, yeah, I'll rock with you. But in 2024, with cookies, updates, apps, it's too much. Like, you would have to really know exactly what you're doing to really understand where you're going. And that's why we go to places like Pinterest, because it's untapped. It's a place you can easily get insights, right? So you don't have to worry about what's going on the web. We talked about zero party, first party, second party, third party data, right? Zero party data means that it's like a date, it's like a relationship. I went to an event, I exchanged something with you, or I exchanged something with the business. I left my contact card, like I walked up, I say, here's my resume, boom, put it on the desk of the reception and walked away. That's zero party data, meaning that I gave you that information willingly. Like, you didn't have to force me to give that information. That's zero party data, right? First party data is what we're all doing. This is what we're talking about, email marketing, whether it comes to purchases or history, when it comes to, leaving your contact information, that's first party data because it's required of you to leave your information on the website. That's why when businesses are evaluated, they value websites or they value businesses off assets, right? So if you have 12,000 people on your list, 100,000 people on your list, 10 people on your list, that's evaluation, because the number of people you have on your list actually equals how much you could be potentially making per year. There's a math to it. I don't want to go too deep into that, but there's a math to it. So the more you add zeros to your email list, so from 10 to 100 emails to 1,000 emails to 10,000 emails to 100,000 emails, the bigger that email list goes, the dollar value increases too in zeros on the other side per year, right? So if you're creating content consistently and you're actually feeding people with this information, with blogs, with podcasts, with videos, with, insights, people are going to love your information because there's always so much to find. Like this evening, I'm going to send an email to my community. So if you're here and you want to get that email, click the link above so that you can sign up to the podcast, because I do send out general updates. And in August, we have a lot of good insights to share with you, especially this week. So do click the link above. So if you don't miss out on any podcast episode, you always have that information right at your doorstep, because it's something that you can really start taking home and learning, listening to other people too. So that's first party data, right? Second party data is analytics you get from social media platforms, period. Like Instagram, TikTok, it's second party because you don't own that first party data. In other words, all those analytics you see on your Instagram dashboard, your TikTok dashboard, your LinkedIn dashboard, anywhere you see analytics that is on a platform you don't own, that's not your website, that is considered second party data that you have access to, but you can't extract from, right? That's a clause right there. Then third party data is like Crunchbase. For example, you're reading on Wikipedia, like you're reading information on third party sites about you. Like if you want to learn about your favorite athlete or about the Olympics, right? You're going to go to information, not to the Olympics.com website, because most people don't even go to Olympics.com or whatever the URL is, right? They'd rather go to a newsletter or a news site talking about the Olympics, for example, right? That's third party data. So when you start looking at all those parties and ask yourself, where are you? Because you have to be in all of them somehow, right? If you're a business, you have to end up being in all of them. You don't have to be in all of them at once, but simultaneously, as you grow, that's going to have to happen if you want to see scaling, because email marketing is the key to success. The more emails you send, the more relevance you have, the more brand presence you get, the more clarity you get, which is even better for your retargeting, because if you actually upload your email list to your paid provider, let's say you're running ads on Pinterest or running ads on Facebook, and you upload your email list and you run ads to them, the chances of them buying or purchasing from you are way higher because you've been actually connecting with them organically. And then the people who look like them, who act like them, who consume like them, will find you because they're actually getting dynamic ads. So at the end of the day, all chips are on the table. It's all a win-win-win, right? But it's not a win if you keep your information within and you don't say anything, right? So the goal is say as much as you can in the most concise way possible so that that information can circulate and you can start thinking about Web 2, which is what we have, and then Web 3, which is where we're going. And Web3 is based on intellectually protecting your data semantically. And that is why a podcast is Web3. Web3 is semantic web, right? And that semantic web, you can, Web 1, we all know is just read only, right? That was back in the day. Web 2 is what we've been having for a while now, about over 20 plus years or so. That's why the Facebook era came, Tinder era, tagged High Five, MySpace, Facebook, all of them, WhatsApp, all of those platforms, Web 2, right? Because you could actually read and write, right? Now in Web 3, you can read, you can write, and you can own. Now that ownership right part is where a lot of businesses are yet to discover because it's still early. But if you catch this thing early, it's like Bitcoin. The guys who caught on Bitcoin early, they're benefiting right now, right? So when you catch on things early and the whole world is skeptical about it, but you're positive about it and you have faith that something will grow from it, then why not go about it and do that too? It can work for you. So these are some things that you have to think about as a business because that's what's going to help your business grow. It's not just about sending emails. You're sending frequencies. You're sending signals. You're sending trust signals. You're sending information. You're sending branding. You're like the more they see your email, the more they see your name, the more they remember your name. The day they want to work on something that has to do with you, you won't have to run an ad to get their attention because you've been retentively showing up and you've been retentively giving them quality. So think about quality over quantity, but also do it in a very concise way so it doesn't feel like you're bothering them. Like at the end of July, I wrote an email and I said, "Hey guys, I appreciate you all so much for being here." I just felt led to just do that at 10 p.m. or so before midnight. And I sent the email. Let me tell you what that email scored so that you guys can also hear it. I'm looking at my emails right now. That was a quick email. I think that email was probably less than 100 words, probably way less than that. Yeah. And that email scored, we're about close to about 7,000. Yes, close to about 7,000 people. And it had a 34.4% open rate and an 18.4% click rate. And just out of that alone, that that was just like, it was just a hello. It wasn't even anything to do with the sale. And yeah, and there were 14 bounces and 9 unsubscribes. So when I look at the full total volume, right, of unsubscribes, you don't have to be between 0 and 0.8%. If you're hitting 0.9%, that's like a red zone because you're not even supposed to reach zero point 0.5 when you look at the total number of emails. So like for me, my total number of emails, my unsubscribe rate is 0.2%, which means for every one email you send, you might get maybe 1 to 10 unsubscribed. Sometimes it might be 0, but if you hit like, let's say you have 7,000 people, and then for every email you're getting 100 unsubscribes, 200 unsubscribes, that's a red flag. Or if they mark it as spam. So even if you have 1 to 10, don't feel like, oh, I'm losing people. You're actually creating room. Because what I do is as soon as I see they unsubscribe, I clean them out because you're creating room for more. You're increasing your bounce rates. You're increasing your click rates. Rather, you're increasing your open rates. You're decreasing your cost per result. You're decreasing your you're just decreasing stress from your business, period. So there are things that you have to think about, as you're growing and as you're thinking about the long-term effects of what you're doing, across the board. David, we'd love to hear from you because I know email marketing has been something you've been looking at too. So what's coming to mind?
Hey, Favor. I'm gonna. I well, first of all, email marketing is something that I've been. It's been on the radar, and I'm doing a few emails here and there. And thanks to you, you got me doing these email marketing, which has been working great. I have been getting some response from it. Also, I did get your email on at the end of July. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. There's a couple things I want to say. I may have to jump off a little soon here, but yeah, I just listening here, and my thoughts are, be part of the search, and when you feed the monster, right? I call the monster Google. You're always going to get something in return, right? It's always about feeding it and giving it content, videos, photography, whatever it is. I mean, you can add SEO and just about everything. SEO is not dead, if anything, SEO is everywhere, so. And I discovered that recently when I met you, or right before I met you, that when I was just discovering, hey, you know what, I've been in a sense a content creator for all this time, and I didn't realize that what I was creating could be used um, to uh, for search engines, and to bring more of that audience that I was looking for, just to turn the soil, and just I just need to tweak myself up just a little bit, and know how to use SEO, and it's been doing wonders in the last year or so. I mean, and I'm excited. I'm excited to even learn more. And I one of the things that I have learned is that he who builds the authority online is the one that calls the shots as well. And I learned that early on as well. I mean, God in favor, and this, I ranked number one in several big cities such as Austin, New Braunfels, San Antonio here in Central Texas. Even in the whole state of Texas, thanks to you, Favor. That's completely number one on search on in photography, as far as commercial Airbnb photography, searches. And this is all organically. Is SEO dead? Back to that question, absolutely not. Hell no. If anything, this is just the beginning. We're just we're turning it up with AI. Golly, man, we can go through so many things. I mean, I could talk about just SEO all day long, because, like you mentioned, everything from email marketing to social media to basically anything that's online, you can add SEO, and with content as well. I mean, whether it's through voice and SEO, text, and you name it, photography. I'm able to incorporate SEO and coding behind a photograph and video, things that I never knew that was possible. SEO is everywhere. So no, it's not going anywhere. If anything, it's just booming. It's crazy, and only if you know how to structure yourself and really organize everything. Is where you're going to be successful also with SEO. But SEO is also a learning thing. I was listening to Maxine, and thank you, Maxine, for everything that you shared. Everything from the technical side of SEO. Having that your page structure, everything from knowing your pages, if they're being indexed or discovered or crawled. All of that great stuff. I mean, that's technical stuff that a lot of people don't see. They want to be writing just content, but there's that other part, that helps your your website or whatever it is. It makes it run smoother, and it's like taking all those red lights that you see in your car, right? Yellow or red lights are indicators that whatever you put out there is not running correctly, and that could be fixed, with technical SEO. But there's so many aspects in SEO, and I guess that's what I'm getting to, and it's exciting. It's exciting to learn this, and this applies to just about any industry, guys. I mean, again, I just have to thank Fravor for opening my eyes. That golly, there's just it's out there, and it's awesome. I mean, it doesn't matter in what industry you are. I'm just gonna tell you right here, right now, jump into SEO, learn SEO, get a mentor, get somebody to teach you, or learn it yourself, whatever it is, because it's going to take you to the next level, guaranteed. And no, it's only dead for those people that don't want to believe, but it's well alive online. It's well alive. Anyways, a favor, I want to leave you with this. And again, thank you for doing this on a Sunday and going out of your way. I know that you have a lot of things going on. You have a whole business on the other end to run, mentorships and all kinds of stuff. And you're here on Sunday, sharing what you know. So that is Awesome, just amazing. Thank you again for being an amazing friend and a teacher, and just I really look up to you, Favor. Have a I have to jump off, but everyone that's here, and including you as well, Favor, Maxine, up here on the room, have a wonderful rest of the weekend. Blessed Sunday, and yeah, keep on trucking, keep on moving forward, because that's the way to go. That's this is it. Deep dive, and things will come back to you tenfold, I guarantee you, because I've been there. I've been doing it right now, and like I said, it's everywhere and it's wonderful. And right now, if we were going fast before, Favor just said earlier, right now in today's world in 2024, guess what? We're going warp speed. We're going very super fast. Warp speed, we're going. Yeah, it's amazing, and I'm super excited. Anyways, thank you guys. Have a wonderful weekend. Favor again, and thanks for having me up here. Appreciate
Thank you so much, David, and buenos dias,
it.
buenos noches, because it's early evening time for you now. Yeah, so it's buenos noches.
Así es. Buenas noches, amigo. Cuídate mucho. Muchos abrazos y hasta luego. Bye bye.
Pleasure to have you here, man. David is amazing, and we connected last year, and he's been ranking on, he's like beating Airbnb hands down easily. Like to see that happen, it's interesting. Like you guys can go online and search right now, Airbnb photography Texas, and you're gonna see his name there, David Pizzat, on top. That's no, we didn't pay Google for that. That is authority. That's SEO, and you don't have to pay for that. Just paid with your time, because every article you post out there, every podcast you post out there has a 24-month life cycle. So imagine if you just do it every day. You can only imagine how far you can go. Like all these big pages, Forbes, CNN, Target, just name it, Wikipedia. The reason why they're all doing well is because they all have over, I would say, like if we're talking high level competition, they all have over 1,000 pages on their website. So if you have over 1,000 pages on your website, actually, let me say it like this: if you have, I've said this before, and people, they didn't get offended, but they were like, "Oh, okay, fine, we get you now." Let me say it like this again: if you have if you have a business, right, and you have a business website, and your Instagram, let's use Instagram for example, your social media, your Instagram account, if your Instagram account has more posts than the number of pages on your website as far as blog posts, right? Then you need to do a rewiring, because what you've just done is you've given Instagram more pages than your website. When you look at competition, you've now lowered yourself below the bar, because Instagram, for every page you see on Instagram, that is a specific URL. It's a specific uniform resource locator. So if you have 200 posts on Instagram, you've given Instagram 200 links. So imagine the number of users times the number of posts per day. That's why Instagram is so big, because they have monthly active users. They have millions of users. Facebook, same thing. Like list goes on. So when you look at the formula and you follow the formula is more quality, more pages, more places, more people. You're good. But a lot of people don't want to do that, because they don't think the people that are out there are really interested in what they have to say, until something is said and you're like, oh yeah, I thought I knew that, or I wanted to know that. So those are things to look at. Out of 15%, and I'm going to end with this and come to you, Maxine, out of the 8.5 billion searches per day, 15% of these searches are new, right? Now, I got a screenshot, and I have a screenshot here, and I took it specifically for this room. I got a screenshot from Google, because I've been talking about Chatter, a great app, a great platform, and I've been writing articles. Like even when I joined Clubhouse, I wrote articles on it. And when it was early, because I joined Clubhouse in 2020, end of 2020, like November 24th, 2020. Yeah, that's when I joined Clubhouse. And I started writing. I was online. I was like, oh, nobody's talking about Clubhouse on Google. So I wrote articles on that, and it's been taking off since then. Same thing now with Chatter. I'm writing articles. It's been taking off since then, right? Why am I bringing this up? Because out of the 15%, just to give you some context so that you can also see what you want to write, how do you want to address business when you write articles. It doesn't have to just be products or sales. It could be community news, it could be product updates, it could be reviews, it could be anything. Talk about your business, a story, how this product was formed. Like, you have no excuse on content, right? Out of 15% of the news searches per day on Google, right? 14% of your Google traffic, and this is what it's telling me, 14% of your Google traffic came from content with first clicks. What does first clicks mean? It means that you posted it within the first 24 hours and it got its first click within the first 24 hours, right? Welcome, Anisha. Good evening. Thanks for being here. Feel free to come up if you're available. Thanks for joining us. 14% of your Google traffic came from content with first clicks. So within a 24-hour cycle, it's like, think about a windmill or a turbine or a car or a generator. You know, like when you start to like go fast, 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 the faster it goes, it just takes off on its own. It's like an engine, right? The same thing applies with your SEO. SEO is an engine, it's like a car, right? That's how I like to break things down. It's like a car, right? Your car is always going to be driving if the oil, if the levels, if everything is good and Gucci, you're good to go, you can drive, right? You don't have to worry about stopping on the road or having any type of faults, right? Because you've done your checkings, right? Same thing with Google, same thing with SEO, same thing with your website. It's like an engine. So if you're consistently producing content within a 24-hour cycle, you post today, you post tomorrow, you post the next day, you post the next day. Before you know it, you will look back and you're like, how did all these pages come to life? Because you spend at least 1 to 3 hours in a week going through, if there's AI involved, because with AI you don't even need to think about writing anymore. You can literally scan a whole page and rewrite an article, put it into your own context, but also have authority by giving, your SEO value. Because what's going to make your story different from someone else's is the experience you've had and the outcome and the moral of the story, right? So if you think about it like this, you have to think about the long-term effect. So websites that consistently, and this is what Google told me as a tip, right? And you get this on your search console too, when you start to see traffic. The tip I got is, and I'm going to share this tip with you because I took a screenshot and I said I'm going to share it with you. The tip is websites that consistently publish high quality content are more likely to grow their traffic. It sounds very simple, but it's the most basic formula, but has the most, how do I put it, the most trusted success or most guaranteed success. Because if you're posting high quality content and your pages are being auto indexed like an engine, right? Because a lot of websites, about over 94% of them don't get indexed. About 6% of them do get indexed. So that's another factor to consider. There's a little caveat. So it's not like, oh, I have 100 pages and 100 pages are loaded. Some of them may not load for some reason or the other. So you have to think about auto indexing like an automatic machine instead of it like being a stick shift. Because Google Search Console clicking request indexing, that's considered to me stick shift driving, right? Compared to auto indexing, where you plug your website to a bot and that bot now actually transcribes your text and sends that signal to Google, which is an auto indexer. You're now actually driving a gas car. So that's where that, or an electric car, that's how you can be able to automate those things too. Let's see. Armonu says, but is Google not going to scan your article you're posting the text, whether it's written by AI? Great question. Great question. So AI, how do I put this? Detection by AI boils down, and this is Google, and I'm sure this is for every search engine. and this is an SEO Sunday. So asking questions is really what I'm here for, because after this, I don't do these long calls anymore. So I'm only doing long calls or long conversations on Clubhouse, but not on Zoom unless something is happening consistently. So this is a great time to ask me any question. So thank you for that question. I'm going to address this now. AI, right, is everywhere. So if you don't, and this has to also deal with your brand, because you don't want your brand to also look like a scam. You don't want your brand to look out of context. You don't want your brand to look out of, like, you don't want to misinform anybody, because that's just going to hurt you more than help you, right? So due diligence already tells you to fact check, proofread, counter check, triple check, quadruple check your article. So if it's written by AI, great. But Google is not going to detect if it's written by AI if you have, one, internal links, two, structured data, like Maxine was saying. Structured data meaning schema. In other words, having an author. Who's the author of that post? Very easy things. People kind of forget those things, but you being the author of an article shows authority because your name is attached, right? And if it's your business name, that's fine too, as the author. So when you now start writing articles, you support it with statistics, you start giving links, you start doing FAQs, you start to actually put your story there. You might put a client, a story you had with a client, or you might have a podcast, or you might put a YouTube video in that article. Those things that you're doing is lessening your chances of being detected with AI messaging. Because if you just say, oh, I'm just going to depend on AI, I'm going to go to AI, scan this thing, paste it, post it, and then repurpose it, that's when you're going to have a problem, because you're going to sound like everyone else. It will sound very generic. People will know. These days people can tell it's AI. I mean, maybe 2-3 years ago you could get away with it, but now you're not even going to, like, before you say Jack Robinson, they already know what you're about to say. So you have to be very specific with how you use AI. That's why it's better for you to build your own AI and have your own brain, or use it within your own frame. In other words, build your website and let your website be the brain of your AI responses. In other words, if you're going to use AI, say, hey, could you speak in the words, or in the brand, or could you speak in the voice of, then you put your URL there. If your URL has websites, links, audio files, video files, all those files, then the AI is going to sound like you. And we were at a workshop when I did the workshop earlier. And in that workshop, I did a test with one of us that was in there. And I asked her about her business. And she came towards the end of the workshop, and I said, hey, let's try this out. So I tried it out, and I put her website there, and even the way the AI was responding back as far as a blog was writing in the voice of her website. She was like, that sounds like me. So now you even enhance it even more, and then give people your experience. So gone are the days when AI is going to be detecting whatever because something is happening. It's just better for you to just use AI, scrape data, scrape information, gather that information, make sure it's credible, make sure it's factual, make sure that it's actually sensible and actually makes sense for your business. Then you can support it with images, support it with videos, support it with statistics, support it with infographics. By the time you're done supporting all those elements, you won't have to worry about AI detection. So that's how it works now. And it's the best way to go about that. Maxine, would you add anything onto that too?
I really like what you're saying there. Talking about internal linking, that's super important. I was actually going to ask you about what tools you would recommend for, because there's a lot of AI blog tools out there, right? But then there's also, but not all of them do automatic interlinking as well. There's some that do. I wonder, I was just curious about that. But I was thinking to myself, are we capitalizing on SEO, right? Let's say you get 10,000 people coming to your site every single day or every month. How are you capitalizing on that, right? This is what I talk to businesses about. Okay, you have 10,000 people, and you're hoping that your conversion rate optimization is up to par, and that maybe you're converting at, I don't know, whatever rate that is, 2 to 4%, etc. But that means that you're leaving around 98 to 96% of money on the table. Those other people who come, they leave anonymously, they go about their business. What are we doing to capitalize on that? Because it's like we're hoping for that small percentage to be enough for us to have that return on investment, right? And so my question to you is, okay, you have SEO, we're sending people from Google or Bing or Yahoo, etc., and then then we're paying Google cost per click, and then we're paying Facebook to retarget the traffic from our website, because we know that these companies, I love what you were saying earlier. You're saying that, we want to forget, like, if you're posting, you have 10,000 posts on Instagram, but you have 10 operational pages on your site. There's a problem there. Putting so much focus on social media platforms that we see now over the years now have continuously changed their algorithm, changed their rules, made it harder for us, because, and we have to remember that these businesses, they're not for us. Okay, they are for themselves, they're for their bottom line, they have their own company goals, they're not here for us. So we have to remember that, and realize that we need to build our own platforms, our own website. That's your asset. Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is, they can close you down, shut you down tomorrow, and if all your platform, all your traffic for your business comes from there, you're really at a deficit. And so I really like what you were saying there. One thing that I say, I'm going to come back to that question where I said, well, what are you doing with the rest of the traffic? Retargeting, of course, makes you rely on Google, cost per click advertising, or you're doing impressions with other social media platforms. But for example, I don't know if it's okay to say this. I need your approval, but to talk about an AI tool that can come in and help you capitalize on your SEO, I need your permission because it's your platform. Favor.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay, so for example, there's something called Max Pixel AI. Okay, and what it does is it allows you to be able to identify your anonymous visitors. That way you're not going back and paying Facebook and Google continuously for that traffic that you already earned. You already earned that traffic. So what it does is it'll identify first name, last name of people that were coming onto your site. And that's how you're able to capitalize. Not just that, it tells, depending on if you're a B2C, let's say you're a consumer based business, it'll go into, you know, you want that information. You want to be able to have complete profiles of people coming to your site, and Facebook and Google don't give that, right? So if you're able to, suddenly people are coming to your site and you're seeing their first, last name, their household income, whether they have children, their net worth, what pages they're binging on, what products and services they're interested in, and all that data would allow you to know what part they are in the customer journey. Are they in the discovery phase, or are they right and ripe and ready to, for intent to buy? All of that information is there. So I would say that if you are doing SEO and you're pouring money into that and you're pouring time into that, blood, sweat, and tears, that you want to make sure that you have advanced analytics that's going to help you fully capitalize on the efforts that you're putting out there, so that you can, be able to not pour more money out into SEO and then pour it into all these other places, when you can capitalize on what you already have. And so I don't want to go into too much detail on the tool, because that's another time. But all that to say, we have to stop thinking traditional advertising. Well, it's normal. This is just how the industry is, that we have to capitalize on the little small, less than 10% of the traffic and efforts that we have coming to our site. We can do better than that, right? And that's kind of why I feel like this tool that I came up with is like disrupting that whole mentality, that why we need to capitalize on everything possible. We need to leverage, and especially now, where everyone is capitalizing on this. Enterprise businesses, large companies are capitalizing on AI and automation. And if we feel like we want to resist this, we don't want to get involved because we're fighting against the grain, we will get left behind. There's, I don't, AI is both good and bad depending on who's wielding it. AI itself is not bad. And if we don't find ways to incorporate it while still maintaining the human aspect, like Favor was talking about, don't just go and hit the click button and have 500 blogs come on out onto your website without properly looking at it with an expert eye or with your own eye, right? Um, that's not going to be good for you at all. People will see that you're a fraud. People will see that this is not authentic. And so finding that sweet spot balance between incorporating SEO or SEO AI into your company while finding that balance of human connection, human human eyes overseeing everything. I think once you find that, I mean, you're ready to go. You're really ready to go.
I love that. Thank you, Maxine, for that share. You know, there's so much to unpack from there because there's so much potential for us to grow. There's so much potential for all of us to grow. And I I don't know. SEO is something that I think I'm so passionate about. Nobody forced me to do this, to be honest. I just feel like it's a burning desire, to just help people understand that this thing is not hard. And I think where it really gets me is where when people have, spent thousands of dollars, they've gone burnt, things have happened to them in their business early on. They started off so excited, they paid for something, they didn't get it. They paid again, they didn't get it. And then they now find someone who actually gets it, but they can't pay it because of what happened. So it's like you're fighting, putting out fires, all the time because you don't know what's going on, but you have to stay true to yourself, just keep growing and let people know that you're around. Like your business is here to stay. And if you look at your business and you look at your Instagram and the math is not mathing, we have to fix that because you can be spending, 24 hours a week on Instagram and yet no one is spending a second on your website. It's not good. It just I think you're doing a disservice to yourself than being of service to communities because you're using shared media platforms that you're sharing, which is second party data. We talked about zero party data, first party data, second party data, and third party data. You're dealing with second party data on a high level. Welcome, Julie. You're thinking of second party data instead of first party data or even zero party data. And if you can't do that right now and you're not thinking about it, it's going to hit like a wave because that is the reason why, tech companies have been talking about cookies and GDPR, compliance. All these things are huge because they understand the value of data. I said earlier, data is the new oil, right? Data is dollars. If you know where your data is coming from, you can spend 1 cent and make $5 back because you know where your money is going. But most people will not know what to do because it sounds like s- algebra, it sounds like calculus, right? But it's really simple math. It's really logical application. It's really ABC methods. It's like the if then X clause, right? If X then Y. Because if you write for the people and you answer questions for the people, you'll always be someone that people can connect with, right? All the things that you have, all those information pieces, they're all going to balance back into your day. It's going to balance back into your business, right? If you're getting 14% increase for every one post that you make on social media coming from your website first, it's a big shift. It's a huge shift because the article that you're publishing is not it's not like, let me put it this way. When you launch a book, right? Let's say you have a book launch and the book goes wild, it goes crazy. The first day it sounds amazing. After the first day of that book launch, that book is still out there to be bought. It's not like the book launch like came and went. It's there. Someone can still buy it. Same thing with your website. Even if you launched that blog on January 1st, 95, and then you uploaded it January 1st, 2025, that is still going to be read in someone's day somehow, right? And what I've noticed, because we've worked with companies from small businesses, private businesses, multinational companies and enterprises, I've seen something across the board. And I noticed that big companies, they already have traffic, they already have SEO. So what are you really offering them, right? And that's when I had to like switch up my gears. And it was so exciting to, connect with businesses like this, knowing what big businesses need, right? This is the difference. And I don't know if you've heard this before, but I want to state this here. Large companies, like I'll give an example of this company we're working with, and they're a large company. They're in different countries in the world, right? They're not just in the US only, so it's international. Big companies like those, they look for something called share of voice and market share. That's what they're looking for. And the SEO is great. It's not really a priority, but it is a priority when it comes to market share and when it comes to share of voice. In other words, if they have two other competitors in the nation and let's say their market share is 30% and their competitor is 60% and the other one is 10%, right? How can we get a 1 to 10% market share increase in their favor compared to their competitors over a quarter period? That's share of voice. So I did that with a company, and we had to get them on Alexa. We had to get them on Yext. If you've ever heard of Yext, yext.com, like we had to take them into like deep rubbles, like to the point where they were so deep into the search base that they're just not only on Google. We created a heat map for them, right? There's a platform called Matomo Analytics, right? Not many people use that. People use Google Analytics, but we installed Matomo Analytics, right? Those are things that we do, right? I'm just giving you like quick tools you can probably check out that are out there that allow you to really get deeper into the insights of clients, competitive scores, average duration. If your competitor is 45% scroll depth, how do you turn that to 20% scroll depth, right? How do you turn that 20% to 80% intent search? Like all those things have to work around. When we started working with that company, they didn't have an FAQ page. A big company like that didn't have an FAQ page. I said that was the first thing we needed to solve. It took about 6 months for that for that thing to be approved because it's a large company. They just don't approve anything. They have to go through staff reviews, approvals, decision making, boards, all that stuff. But it finally came through. I was like, you guys need this. So eventually they said, okay, cool. So eventually we installed it. Now they have an FAQ page, and that page is helping them get into ChatGPT results. They're getting into AI overview results. They're getting into Pinterest results. They've never spent $1 on Pinterest, and they're getting about over 250,000 views a month. So the problem is not SEO. They already have it. The problem is, how do you become more relatable, and how do you increase market share and share of voice is by using multiple languages. That's what large companies do too. Large companies like to have their websites in multiple languages, to have their content in multiple fields, or if their website could be translated into an actual page. So if somebody is like reading Chinese, if your page can be translated into Chinese, that's a good thing for you because it also means that you can actually gain an international audience. Most people don't think about that. You have to use websites like Google Tag Manager to install those things. It's free, but it comes with a cost when it comes with the installation, and it's crazy, right? You can have the spare part of a car, but you need a mechanic to actually fix the part in the car. So I can give you all these tools, but it takes a professional to get those tools to work. So that's why it's really important for you to look at these things and not just having it on base. But everything I'm saying here is going to calculate and reverse all the way back to email marketing. Because when you have a high authority scoring website that has organic posts, organic PDFs, organic images, organic videos, organic podcasts, organic, the day you want to pay for that platform, you'll be paying so low because you've given so much time. So what's more valuable to you, time or money? A lot of people will say time. A lot of people will say money, right? But the value is what you value. If you value time, you can say, okay, I'm going to spend this next 3 months. We're going to drill this down. We're going to get this information out there. So for the next 9 months, we can yield profit. We can exchange time. We can evaluate. We can test. We can do some things that allow us to actually move the needle year over year so that by next year, July 2025, August 2025, December 2025, You don't have to say the same thing you said in 2024 because you know that the lifespan of a post is 24 months. So all you're doing is enhancing what you said because you can actually predate it. You can actually go back to it. You can actually reference it. If someone says, hey, check what I did in 2015, in 2019, they can actually take you there because there's somewhere to go. So that somewhere to go shows authority, shows existence, shows expertise, shows relationships, shows culture, shows standard, shows etiquette, shows skill. So if you can show up and not, you can't tell someone, hey, go check my Instagram post 3 years ago to explain what they won't really care. They will not, I mean, they would, but you will not get that same respect from second party data like you would if you send them to first party data, which is your website. So, or your podcast. So that's really what you have to think about. What is the best platform that you recommend for email marketing? Med, great question. And I'll take two more questions and then we'll wrap up. So if you have any questions, put it in the chat because I notice the questions keep sneaking in like towards the end of my my finishing statements. So please put the next two questions in. If anyone has a question, I'll respond back to you. The best email platform, email marketing platform, honestly speaking, there's so many out there that I'm not going to say which one is good, which one is not good, because they're all good. I think the real question you want to find out is what is the most effective email platform and what is the most cost effective email platform? I think that's the real question you're asking for newsletters. Yes. When I think about it, I've been using, for me, I'll say Flowdesk, right? And why I say Flowdesk, and I'm going to put the link in the top of the room so that you guys can click on this link. If you want to sign up, you can, that's disclaimer, you get about 50% off. That's about $19 a month for unlimited subscribers and unlimited emails for your first year and with working using Flowdesk. And I'm at the Flowdesk beta program too. So if you have any problems about Flowdesk, you can always let me know and I can talk to the staff there. I've built relationships with them since 2019 and our clients have never looked back. I always give them other options. There are so many I can give you. There's MailChimp, there's Klaviyo, there's Aweber, there is there's MailerLite. Like there's so many. There's Sendinblue, which is I think Sendinblue. I think they renamed themselves. There's so many, but I'll stick with Flowdesk because I've used it and we get high email deliverability. What really sold me on them is they partnered with Amazon. So they actually have AWS, Amazon Web Services, which is the highest or the topmost speed server on out there. When it comes to servers, Amazon is at the top, right? So if your email is within that Amazon CDN, networking field and all those things, then why not be there? Why not be with the best? So, and you're also spending less. So you get emails, get workflows. They have this thing new, it's called Magic Links. So it even tells me now who likes to read blogs, who likes to read podcast or listen to podcasts, who likes newsletters, who likes videos. Like I can see all that now with my email list because they have something called magic links. Before you can just send an email and you get a generic response. Oh, open emails and clicked through emails. That's all you get. And you get who clicks your email, all that good stuff. But I wanted to know a little bit deeper, get to know what time of the day they send it, do they use desktop or mobile? Of course, other platforms have these things because that's a standard. But when it comes to the aesthetics, speed, high deliverability, ROI, it's Flowdesk for me. Like I send an email once, I don't have to blink twice because I know that I've triple checked it and I know it's going out for sure and it has a quadruple security shield. That's how I'd put it. So to answer your question, the link is above. And yeah, Brevo, that's the name. I was like, I knew they did a rebrand, but you see, I didn't even think of the name, but I knew that they did a rebrand. So yeah, Sending Blue is Brevo now. So you have to think about these platforms, right? And see what these platforms do for you. I mean, everyone can choose their own, but when you think about how much you're spending per year, and then you do the math on how much you could save per year, and then see how much you could gain per year, then those numbers start to look different right now. Even for me, for our business, this is the first time after a decade and a year in business, we're going to, I'm actually like in the process of revamping like the company website. We've been building websites for clients. We've been doing SEO for so many clients, for businesses. And I'm like, I've been doing it. And now I even told my team, I was like, you know what? I think we need to work on our company website because I felt like it was time. I was to do it last year, but I said no, it wasn't time yet. So this year, I'm rebranding my own self too. Having a whole new website after 10 plus years, and I'm excited because I've done so much research on the kind of website I want outside of what I'm already using. So when you see it, I'll be here, God willing. You'll be able to know and you'll see it for yourself. But it's like those things that I've been cooking for years. So I've really thought about it through and through and through to the T, so that I can also expand because it's growth. As a business, you have to expand. We just changed our logo after 10 years in business just last year, right? So those are things that we're doing to expand, to grow. And that's the same thing you should do too. So just doing that for your business and showing up online, being very present, letting people know what you're doing. It may not sound like it's a lot, but for them to even hear that you're actually thinking about telling them shows how much you care about them as a business or as a people, as a community. So don't just send emails because you have offers. Say, hey, I'm just checking in with you. Hope you're having a blessed day with your family. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas. You don't have to say, hey, here's 20% off as you check out. You can do those things later. Just have relationships with your people because you just don't know. Like, think about the number of people you talk to every day on email. They may not be responding back to you, but if you're sending it to tens of thousands of people, thousands of people, hundreds of people, that's a lot of people you're talking to. So imagine if they're thinking about you every day, and you're not thinking about all of them either. If you think about it, they're thinking about you more than you're thinking about them. That sounds crazy because they're not emailing you every day or every other day. You're the one emailing them. So if you're emailing them quality, then they'll always think about you with that reciprocity. So that's how you want to do it today. And I don't see there was any other question. Daryl, I saw your hand up, wanted to bring you up, but I don't think you're available. So if you are, feel free to accept the invite because I saw your hand up. Uh, and just get that information, and I hope that helps you as well. So Maxine, how you feeling? You like the topic? You like what we're talking about before we wrap up?
This was really good. And all I would ever want, all I want to add to this, what you were saying, you were really hammering down on first party data. And that's so good, because while you're saying that, all I'm thinking about is cookies, right? And the fact that, Google is phasing out cookies by the end of this year completely. They're planning on phasing that out. And so the implications of that is going to be pretty crazy, right? Because we rely on cookies, third party cookies, to understand a lot and to have precision in our advertising, right? In our communications with our customers. Am I right?
You are 100% spot
Right.
on.
Exactly. And so what the concern is now is that Facebook, for example, uses cookies to track user activity across the web, enables advertisers to create very highly targeted ad campaigns based on user behaviors and interests, etc. Right? We all know this if we've advertised. And so the problem with this is the fact that once that happens, what's Facebook going to do? Mind you, I do know that Facebook is trying to implement new models right now, right? Um, for first party data. But as of now, this is a problem because once we throw out the third party cookies, it's going to be very hard for people to really move forward on what they're trying to do. And this idea of if it ain't broke, don't fix it, it's going to be broke. So we're going to have to restructure our how we do business and how we gain leads in a way that can be efficient, unless we do exactly what you're talking about, which is to be focusing more on first party data, right? We need to be focusing more right now before this is over, right? Before things move towards no cookies, that you want to really focus on your website, your website traffic, and make that the focal point of your advertising and move slowly towards that. And yeah, I can go on and on. There's so much about like unified IDs. There's a lot of tools that people are utilizing right now that rely on cookies in order to function. And so once this switch happens, right, we're going to have to reevaluate what we're utilizing and make sure that we are looking at things like unified IDs, which are identifiers. These are identifiers that are used to track and recognize users across these many different platforms and devices without relying on third-party cookies. So that's why I'm kind of I've kind of foreseen this issue, which is why I kind of brought out Max Pixel AI, because we cannot live, have our business completely upside down as a result of all these constant changes. I know that I'm in the industry and I feel the brunt of all these changes and all these different things, right? Um, and I can imagine people who are not in the industry that are entrepreneurs with all these changes happening and thinking, how in the world am I going to restructure my marketing mix or my marketing plan and my business, etc. So that's something to think about. I think more conversation around first party data and third party cookies would be wonderful. I don't know what you think, Favor.
Oh yeah, I think that's probably going to be my focus this week. Yeah, you're right. Thanks, Maxine, for that um clarification, because I was like, I want to talk about something that makes sense, and that's why I even took some time to write an article on it. And I'll start off with the article and I'll bring it back again, because I think it was yesterday or the day before I just talked about first party data, and I had a feeling that people don't even know what that is and they don't understand it. So I said, I'm going to write an article, and the article is at the top. And I wrote this yesterday. I took some time. I took like maybe 2, 3 hours yesterday, put it together, and I said, here you guys go. And by the way, all these images you see here are all AI generated that I prompted. And like the picture you see up here, I prompted it, and I prompted it using, there's a platform I'm going to tell you guys about. It's a free platform, and I'm going to do a workshop on it. It's called ideogram.ai. That's a free platform you can use, right? Because it can really give you, like, it's like, think about Instagram but AI pictures. Really nice. Think about like your Unsplash or your favorite Pixabay, but now with just a pool of pictures generated by all kinds of people. So think about ideas from people's heads, just crazy. It's really nice. So I've been using it for a while now. And if you look at this article and you scroll down and you see the images, you'll see those images are AI generated too, but they're prompted. And the one that's my favorite is the one I even use as a podcast episode. I created a treasure chest, and I made Instagram, Facebook, Twitter all look like cartoons. And they were all like fighting for the treasure chest. So if you click this link and you scroll down somewhere in the middle, I think it's around second party data, you'll get to see the picture I'm talking about. So that's what is exciting. And I realized, yeah, a lot of people are skeptical. Should we use AI in our blogs? Yes, because those pictures, one, if they're so beautiful, if they have quality, if they're artistic, if they actually have value, and if it's contextual to your brand, they're going to actually spend time staying at that section of your website, and that's going to increase your reading time. It's going to increase your watch time. It's going to increase your screen time, which is ultimately going to increase your website activity time, which is going to decrease your bounce rate and increase your click-through rate. So if you really do the math, it's really good to have those kind of images there. So yeah, for sure. First party data and third party cookies, that we're gonna do a room, Maxine. So I'll hit you up and we'll see how we can maybe do something like that this week and schedule it out, because I'm so glad that in this August, because we've, created a whole new business policy. I have so much time now that we just operating in the background instead of me being on Zoom consistently. So we just have allocated times. So I can now be on Clubhouse. I can be working in the background. My team is working. Clients are connected. It's beautiful. It feels like fresh air, because sometimes when you're whole clogged up with Zoom, it can get so stressful, and you have Zoom fatigue. I experienced that last year, hitting about close to 400 hours on Zoom. I said, I'm not doing that again. I'm going to have to maybe make that 40 hours a year on Zoom if I can, and double the efforts, because we have more expansions. We have AI now. We don't have to be everywhere. We can be everywhere without being there ourselves in real time. So we can focus on family, do things we love, and just enjoy and let, the work do the work in the background. So that was a good one, Maxine. Thank you for that insight. Appreciate that, y'all. So I hope you guys learned something new. And if you did, please put a one in the chat. We've been here for about an hour and 45 minutes, so about to wrap this up. But put a one in the chat if this helped you, if you learned something new, if you're able to pick up something that was very interesting that you're saying, okay, this might actually be something of use. Let me know. Put it in the chat. And I know some of you might be away from your phones because it's a Sunday. So for you being here alone, I know that it means a lot. So thank you so much for staying here, for being here, and for connecting. So I just want to shout you guys out: Maxine, Anisha, Thomas, Daryl, Armonu, Zinga, Batsarig, Sharon, Lucy, Luann, Haifa, and Med. Thank you all so much for being here. You're all amazing. This is a marketing club. None of us have a ticket. That means we're all part of this club. This club is growing, y'all. We're 348.9K. I'm predicting by the end of this year, this house is going to be at 350K members. The way it's going, it's really going really up. So I get to meet new people here every time, and I'm always excited about who to connect with. Like I connected with you today, Maxine. So it was so good to connect with you and, stay connected, build. That's the whole point of being on Clubhouse. Each one teach one, and you never know as well. So I appreciate it for sure. Yeah, I saw your booking too. Yeah, we can definitely try to do the room before. Yeah, and what I'm even doing these days, and I thought about it because I actually had an interview with somebody who works at a solar energy company, and I've started investing in solar energy, and I'm gonna talk about that, soon, so you guys can also tap into that. And I did an episode. I was recording the episode as we normally do, because what I normally do is like I would record the episode and then I'll, of course, send it out to everyone when we publish it. But this time around, just like you're saying, Maxine, I kind of like dripped it into, I kind of leaked it, if I can say it like that, into Clubhouse. So people on Clubhouse listening to me interviewing the guest, but they could not see the interviewee because I was on Zoom with the person. So if we do the same thing, we can be on Zoom and then we just feed it into here, just like we're doing now, but instead we'll be on a Zoom call, recorded, and then whoever's listening gets it, but the replays are off here so that when we get off, then we can use the recording to now repurpose it. So let's do that, right?
Hey, I'm ready.
Let's go. Let's go. Awesome. Yeah, I can definitely see that as well. I saw your name. I was like, okay. I see the Nigerian. You just slid it in there just a little bit. So it's good that you have it there. Slick. I caught it. I caught it earlier, but I said, nah, let me wait. And then you said something. I said, okay, let me say something too. No, but I appreciate that. I'm very observant as well. But thanks for being here. And I'm glad you are all here listening. This is SEO Sundays. I try to do this as often as I can. It's hard to do it every Sunday, but the Sundays I can, I will. I think this is my second one or third one, probably second because I haven't done it a lot. But anytime you see me on a Sunday, is because I have time here. Because offline, there's no more like 30-minute calls. It's all 15 minutes and it feels good so that I can, help other people and connect at a faster rate. So that's why I'm here for hours on Clubhouse. So we can talk, have a good time, connect. And then when we get off the app, we now get to business and we get to work. Because here we're just sharing what we've done outside. If we don't work outside, there's nothing to talk about inside. you know so we have to definitely do that for sure. Yeah, so Maxine, I've connected with you there, just in your message, so I'll reach out as well. Med, yeah, good vibes for sure. The marketing club is a good place to be. We learn a lot, and there are a lot of replays. So if you're in this house, always click on the marketing club, and then on the top right you'll see three dots. One of the options will say listen to replays. We have so many replays there. like first party data, SEO marketing roadmap for businesses, keyword research 101, email marketing conversations, breaking down Pinterest SEO, reading the mind of your prospects, segmenting email marketing checkouts. I did that twice. SEO search everywhere for SMBs, subject lines and preview text, how to use Google Advanced Search, podcast LinkedIn strategies, podcast versus product versus service strategies, content versus context marketing. The list is endless. So just go in there, listen to what you like, or listen to podcast, and we have all that information ready for you. So hope you're good. I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow. I'm gonna be on Chatter as well, and I have a room on Chatter talking about open graphs for websites. So if you guys need an invite, if anyone needs an invite and you're not on the app, please let me know and I will give you an invite to the platform. Just send me a DM, and if you're really real, because we got to make sure you're real first before we get you in that safe space, and then from there we can have that as well. You can recommend one trend niche for blogs here. A trending for blogs, yeah, a trend for blogs would be like how to's. So if you do like how to blogs, choose your favorite product and do alternative. Like for example, if you do, let's say, I'm thinking, I'm trying to see what brand to use. That's just gonna make sense. Somebody give me a brand. Um, okay, I'll just go with the one that's actually, yeah, I'll go with this one. And you're in recipes, you want to change. Okay, recipes, food. Okay, so let's say, okay, let me be very specific. I like to if I do it, I do it. Sometimes it's not a must, but it's something I love to do. And I tried it the first time and it was really tasty. Have you ever tried putting tahine on your fruits? Like maybe if it's like pineapples or bananas. Like it's really nice if you use tahine, right? So if I had a product like tahine, right? I would say tahine alternatives and then talk about my product. So if it's your business, let's say you have like Mediterranean dishes or soul food dishes, whatever it is, right? That you know people search for. Then you come up with the alternative and tell them, hey, alternative to this is that, right? That way you can really, really connect and build. It says, Favor, you cannot receive DMs unless you're following them. That's new. Huh. But I'm following you. That's strange. Maybe there's something glitching in the system. But after this, I'll try again and reach out to you. But yeah, if you're thinking about thin content for you with recipes or on IG, oh, that's different. Yeah, I think IG you have to send a request. But let me see. Let me actually go there right now since you're on there. I don't see a request. Um, but I followed you. Yeah, I followed you back. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe we'll have to see about that later. But thanks for that insight. So with your recipes, I would say for you, Pinterest is going to be a great place to keep it evergreen, to be honest, because Pinterest is so underrated. So I would say if you have anything that you have on Pinterest, please put it on Pinterest as a business and write content, because recipes and ingredients, methods and all those things, those are called rich text formats. Those are rich text. Rich text is articles, recipes, places, shopping. That's rich text. So the more rich text you have, the more enriched your business will be, if I can put it that way. So yeah, there's so much to uncover there as well. But Maxine, did that work for you? Is it still? Oh, there we go. Boom. I saw it. All right, cool. I was about to say, yeah, I actually beat myself to it. So that's good. What's the best niches in the US in Pinterest other than recipes? I mean, it depends on what your business is. Yeah, there's so much to cover there, but just focus on your niche, focus on what you're looking for, and then when you find the right information on Pinterest, on Google, on YouTube, those are places to go. Like after Google is YouTube when it comes to search. So if you can be on Google and YouTube using a podcast, for example, and blogging, you'll be so far ahead because you're always going to be relevant and you always have a link connected to your brand name. So any other questions, please feel free to connect with me. And this has been one of those, rooms that I said, okay, SEO Sundays. I don't know what's going to happen here, but I know whatever happens from this room, somebody will learn something new. They will take something home and they'll also apply it, because it's one thing to listen, it's another thing to apply. So I would say, Matt, if you want to connect with me, click the link above, or anyone as well in the room, click the link above, and that will take you to my links. So the green ones are the paid versions. The purple one is where we can have an audit, an icebreaker call for 15 minutes. And then in that 15 minutes, we get to decide, whether we're a good fit for you and whether you're a good fit for us. We're both going to have to decide, because it's a two-way street. It's out of consent. Nobody forces anyone there. It's all about communication and also clarification, and also making sure that we're all connected. So thanks again for being here. Have a wonderful night. God bless you all. See you guys in the streets of Clubhouse or on social media. And I'm going to catch you guys soon. Take care.